For the next hour, the green and gold are in charge. Welcome to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tanner's and Kimberly. B.J. Raji alongside as we bring you another Monday night of In the Huddle for the 7-0 Green Bay Packers. B.J., way to go.
Hey, thanks a lot, Bill.
That's awesome. Go to the Metrodome, and you know, I've got to be honest with you, I really thought you were going to blow the Vikings out of the water, and Mike McCarthy all week long said it's one of the toughest places to play, and kind of turned out that way. Yeah,
man. I mean, I kind of got that question a lot after the game, and I think people sometimes, you know, we're a good team, we got good players, but I think people sometimes, you know, they underestimate how hard it is to win in the NFL. You know, and this is the hardest league, obviously, there is in football. And, you know, a division game, teams are game planning for you in the offseason, so it's tough. You know, the atmosphere, obviously, like we all know, is a tough place to play. I think that we showed some resiliency at the end and came out and got the job done.
Yeah, but you guys are making it look pretty easy, though. I mean, you reel off 13 straight wins right now.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's franchise record, B.J.
No, I know that, but I don't feel easy. That's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't feel easy. Right. I mean, you're the guy in the trenches doing all the hard work, but it looks easy to me, you know?
Well, I mean, that's a good thing if people are saying that, but we know how hard it is to win in this league, and we know how hard you have to prepare and get mentally ready for games.
A couple of weeks ago, you were tied for first place with the Lions. Now you got a 2-game lead as you go into the bye week.
Yeah, that's definitely nice. You know, anytime you could, you know, defeat a team like a good team like Atlanta, and then you can have them in turn beat one of your division rivals. I mean, that does nothing but help you.
All right, tell me what's going through your head as Christian Ponder. We'll call him Sister Christian for the rest of the program, all right? Sister Christian rolls left and hits a long one down the left sidelines, and eventually they score and go ahead.
You know what? I knew they would have something, you know, in the first series or two. I didn't know exactly what. But, you know, they max protected, and they ran out and up, you know. And you would like to think that wouldn't happen on you, but it's football. You know, it happens. And we were able to rebound and obviously get over that.
There seems to be a pattern on the road here where you guys fall behind, and then, you know, the defense tightens their belt and the offense starts scoring a lot of points, and, you know, you win the football game eventually. But, you know, I mean, you were down 13-0 to Carolina, 14-0 in Atlanta, down yesterday early against the Vikings.
Right. Definitely not something we like to be in a situation. We don't like to be in a situation like that. But I think that, you know, you kind of learn about yourself when you get down like that. And I think that the positive to take out of that, like I said, is that we're a resilient team and we never quit. But obviously, we have to get that changed.
Now, I know you're a defensive player,
right,
but you can just imagine what the Vikings defense felt like. I mean, they came in as the 4th-ranked rush defense in the NFL, and the Packers offense, with the running game, ran out the clock on them down the stretch. That's got to be a pretty demoralizing thing for a defense.
Oh, yeah. Anytime they were put in situations to stop the run. You know, I think that last 3rd and 7, I think everyone in the stadium knew it was going to be a run. And, I mean, it starts up front like always, and I think our offensive line did a good job throughout the whole game, and obviously the last series of blocking people, getting to the next level, and giving our good backs a chance to make some moves.
Yeah, that's kind of just smash mouth football. I mean, they know you're going to run the football, and yet they still couldn't stop you.
Right. That's one. Like I said, just you got to give credit to where credit is due, and I think, you know, the credit falls on the running back, obviously, and I also think the offensive line gave him a good jump start, and Starks made it happen.
You know, Aaron Rodgers is setting the table pretty high right about now, isn't he?
He's definitely probably the number one reason why we're winning these games. He's a great player, and he's very level-headed, and he's a great leader, and obviously he's a great talent.
He's obviously very accurate. 13 of his first 13 yesterday. He was 20 of 23 at one point, and of the 3 incompletions, one was him just killing the clock, and the other 2 were drop passes. So, I mean, he's been absolutely incredible. His quarterback rating was like 145 yesterday.
Right.
20 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions on the season.
I think out of all the stats you said, I mean, that's the one that sums it up the most for me. You know, anytime you're in the 20 touchdown range with only 3 interceptions, I mean, that's just phenomenal. And anytime, you have a quarterback that values the football and values possessions, you're always going to have a chance to win, especially with a team as talented as we are.
All right, all kidding aside with Ponder now, what'd you think of him?
You know what? He put some balls in there that impressed me. We all knew what his ability was athletically, but I think that he made some plays in a situation where we had to make them. I think particularly on downs in which we struggled, which is third down, which is generally a plus for us. I think he made some plays. Got a few runs out there and got out of the pocket, made some tough throws on the run.
Are you surprised that the Vikings didn't go for it on 4th down?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not a coach. My job, my job future is not dependent on certain calls. So, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. Looking back, some people would say, yeah, but in the heat of the moment, the head coach of that football team felt that it was the best interest of the football team to punt the ball. I mean, I can't really argue with that.
Yeah, I just wonder, when you're looking at the number 1 offense in the National Football League, number 1 scoring offense, number 1 quarterback, that, it's pretty much a stretch to think you might get that football back.
Like you said, though, in that situation, our offense is not coming out 5 wide.
That's true.
We're lining up, in I formation or whatever have you, and we're going to try to run the ball and kill the clock. Everyone knew that. And I think that's what he was thinking when he made the decision, and he felt comfortable. He had confidence in his team. It obviously didn't come through, but like I said, hindsight's always 20/20.
It's too bad the Adrian Peterson era didn't start about 6 or 7 years sooner for him, because in what is now a passing league, he is a great running back.
Yes, man. This guy. I think I was sitting here last week telling you about Adrian Peterson.
Yes, you
and
were.
Telling you that this guy is just some things he's just. You can't attest for. If this guy's just hitting the front side A gap and hop skipping 3 gaps over and then taking it 30 yards. I mean, sometimes just you have to give credit where credit's due. We're not thrilled about giving up 170 some yards rushing, but if we watched the film today, and honestly speaking, it didn't look like a guy that had 175 yards. But when you break off a 70 some yarder, 30 yarder, 25 yarder. Those things add up, and I think he had like 108 rushes off 108 yards or 3 rushes. Anytime you're doing that, you're going to have a big day.
Yeah, he had a good day. All right, we'll come back, and we'll take a break here. We'll come back and meet our guest on the show tonight. It's coming back with more from Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now, back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we are back at Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Good to have you along this evening. Transportation for our guests provided by L&S Classic Limousine. Personal professional service for all occasions. Call 800-830-5933 for your reservation. Thanks to Lenny and Sue, and once again doing a great job again for us this year. Along with co-host B.J. Raji, I'm Bill Scott. Time to meet our guest tonight in his 5th NFL season out of the University of California. Let's welcome inside linebacker Desmond Bishop. Des, thanks for coming out.
No, my pleasure.
Good to have you. 6 solo tackles yesterday, 2 assists to lead the team in tackles. In fact, 65 tackles also for the season is also the team lead. 3 quarterback sacks. That's tied with Clay Matthews and with Jarius Wynn for the team lead. So you're off to a flying start.
Oh, yeah, man. Just trying to take advantage of every situation, every play, and try to be helpful to the team.
I bet when you watch film, defensive film, I bet you there's probably about 1 out of every 2 plays where he's either making the tackle or he's in somewhere right around that ball.
Right. Obviously, what I'm about to say, Bishop doesn't even know because he's not in our room. We talk about it all the time. He's all over the field. Like the big run we discussed earlier on the other segment, Bishop was the guy on him, brought him down, and that just shows his hustle, his awareness. And I think the biggest thing that helps us out as a defense is his communication.
Well, BJ, you got the opportunity. The Packers dealt a couple of linebackers. They gave you the contract extension last January. That had to feel pretty good to get that thing before the season was even over.
Oh, yeah, it felt good, man. It showed me that the organization had confidence in me to get a job done and help contribute to a great organization. So the feeling was phenomenal.
You and AJ forming a pretty formidable inside duo. back there for the Packers?
Oh yeah, we just work together. When we out in the field, it's like we just won. We know what each other thinking. We communicate really well, and we just compete.
You led the team with 30 postseason tackles, going right up through the Super Bowl. So you basically proved it wasn't a fluke last year during the regular season. As the competition got better and better, you continue to bring it.
Oh yeah, I pretty much strive on competition. I think all of us do. It's just we all of us got this competitive nature that the better competition, the better you want to do. So you work a little bit harder.
Take us back a couple of years when you were basically special teams, and making play after play every time you went out there, and just kind of waiting for your opportunity, and then it finally came.
I mean, it was hard. I remember times just really being down. Because you really want to play, and you can go out there and make things happen, but never really given the opportunity. It's really hard. And to be, since you was 8 years old, kind of being that guy, being in the role to, go out there and have fun and make plays, and then all of a sudden, with no kind of warning, just kind of a backup, it definitely take a shot on your ego. But, you just got to keep pushing forward. And, a lot of guys, my parents and people who were really close to me, told me to be patient, but my teammates and coaches told me to be patient. So it showed me that, they seen something in me. So when I finally got my opportunity, I just took advantage of it.
Did you wonder at some point whether your chance was going to come in Green Bay?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I definitely had doubts. I didn't know how or where it was going to work out, but I did have ultimate confidence that it would work out some way or another.
All right, you guys are going into the bye week now, and you've got an extra day off, the coach, because of the way you're playing and everything like that. So the coach gave you tomorrow right through the weekend off. I would imagine that, and I know his instructions, he said today during his news conference that his instructions are basically to spend some time with family and get away from football.
Right.
Either one of you guys going to have a hard time doing that? You probably will, because you like watching football a lot, don't you?
Well, that's not work to me. Coach means, in our scheme, what we're doing, just the pressures of everyday activity. That's what he means. It doesn't mean, don't go home and don't watch football. That's what he's saying. And I think that he's a great man for, instructing us to do that. He understands the value of family, and he understands that it's a hard business that we're in, and anytime you get some downtime, you should share it with your family.
I heard you say you were going to New York.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go to New York. I've never been, so I think I'm going to take the opportunity to, be a tourist for a little bit, for a couple of days, and just relax.
Never been to the White House either, have you?
That's a good one.
Hey, too soon.
That had to be a disappointing thing for you. Obviously, you forgot your ID on the plane, and I guess the secret, that's why they're as tough as they are. But I still find it hard to believe that the Green Bay Packers, the Super Bowl champs, are at the White House and they couldn't let you slide through.
Yeah, it was a weird situation. I think it happened so fast. Just one of those things where it's just irreversible. I mean, there's nothing I could do about it. But I kind of made the situation funny. A lot of people know about it. I even made T-shirts about it. Instead of the whole "bitch please," it was the "Obama please." And on Twitter, somebody, one of my followers, they made up these Chuck Norris quotes, and one of them where he said Desmond Bishop was asked for his ID to go in the White House. He walked away laughing, saying maybe next year. So it was kind of funny.
Well, I got to tell you, Des, the way you guys are playing, there just might be a next year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Get an opportunity to go back there. You will probably be bored.
If we win another Super Bowl, I definitely won't be bored.
You won't be bored, huh?
I'll be honored, to do that again. But that's putting the cart before the horse, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. When you saw that he couldn't go, what were you thinking? You had to feel pretty bad for him.
To be honest with you, I was already in the White House. Had past security before I knew he couldn't go. So I was just like, me and Bitch cool. So first thing I was like, man, what did Bitch do now? It's one of those things what did Bishop do? But I heard the story. that's something, like you said, you can't change. It happens so quick, and hopefully, if there's a next time, and if Bish were to do it again, you know, we would get some leeway.
Then you'd probably have to call him a knucklehead if he did that again, right?
I'm wearing a shirt with my ID on it. Photo copy.
That's outstanding. Hey, how about the T.J. Lang incident yesterday with Brian Robinson?
Wow. What do you think, Bish?
Oh man, it was out of line. You know, we understand this. You know, get real heated out there sometimes, but you know, if you watch it, he kind of kicked once and kind of missed. He kind of like aimed it. It was kind of out of line, but it's hard to say. I don't think he should be. Yeah, of course he's gonna get fined, but other than that, you know, I'm sure he gave his apology, and you know, we move on, and we get a chance to get him next time. Yeah.
Well, A.J. Hawk got $10,000 for flying the bird at his own bench.
Right.
You know, so
it's tough. One of those things, you know. After seeing him play today, he was just a little bit embarrassed. You know, that TJ kind of like WWE slammed him on the ground. You know, and I mean, I'm sure if he had it over again, he probably wouldn't have reacted like that. But it's one of those situations where, I mean, I don't know the guy, but I mean, it's tough. It's going to be hard for him not to be judged on that play for the remainder of his career, and that's the downside to that.
All right, Mason Crosby, 21 straight field goals now, 4 yesterday, including a 58-yarder, which set a franchise record. So he set 2 franchise records in one day. This guy's on fire. Do you even go near him during a game?
Just the way, you know, on the sidelines, the way our bench is set up, I'm not always around Mason, but anytime he goes on the field, I mean, I'm pretty confident that it's going to go in. Yesterday, obviously, I didn't know if it was going to go in or not because it was a pretty long one, but after he made it, I was just like, I'm happy this guy's on my team.
How far do you guys think you could kick a ball?
Not through uprights or just?
Not even counting the uprights.
I like to think something
10 yards,
respectable. But who knows? That ball might start going to the side somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you really have an appreciation for what these guys do, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
He and Match Day, the punter, and
definitely. Yeah. And just you know, it's one thing when you're playing 60-some snaps, but when you're a kicker, you only get a couple opportunities. So every opportunity is that much more important, and you're judged by that opportunity.
Yeah. All right, our Granite Peak email segment's coming up in just a few moments. We'll continue our conversations here. B.J. Raji and Desmond Bishop back with more from Tanner's after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we are back. In the Huddle continues from Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly, brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. More than great games and casino action, Mole Lake offers first-class accommodations in their 75-room resort hotel, including family suites and whirlpool suites, along with a fitness center, swimming pool, and full-service conference center. Back with B.J. Raji and our guest Desmond Bishop. 33-27, Packers knock off the Vikings to go to 7-0, heading into the bye week. Well, February 15th, you know what that day is?
It depends on what city you're talking about.
There you go. February 15th in San Francisco is Desmond Bishop Day.
What?
How do you like that?
You got a day, man? Wow.
I mean, we're not talking Timbuktu, Arkansas here. We're talking San Francisco.
Right, that's big time.
You know, you go win a Super Bowl, you go back home, and everybody knows who you are. I bet you don't even have to buy dinner when you go back home.
I wish it wasn't. I wish I was.
He gonna go that far with it.
I need the key for that.
So how did that come about?
Winning the Super Bowl. And, you know, me being from San Francisco, I had, you know, family affiliations with the people in the mayor's office, and they just told me about it and would I like to be honored, and of course I accepted it, and you know, the rest is history.
Now, do you get a key to the city on top of that?
No, I think we have to win another one before I get
the key to the city. All right. It says in your bio that you're near completion on a movie script. Now, you've been working on that for quite a while. Are you almost done with that yet?
I'm almost done. I got about 30 minutes, 30 minutes ago, which is about 30 pages. But when I first started writing it, I didn't have no kind of base and then I just like start writing. Actually, I start writing on my iPhone, and I just started writing scenes out. And you know, I was trying to, of course, put them in the sequence of how they went. But you know, sometimes I would, you know, get stuck and have to jump. You know, so what I did was I was like, you know what, let me stop. So I went back and I started reading books about how to really write scripts and, you know, how to make a story from, you know, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And that's what I've been doing right now. And I haven't really had time, you know, do the football, but that's where I'm at. I'm just reading and trying to get my foundation strong so my story can be told correctly.
Have you had people come to you and say, hey, when you're done with that, you know, give me a call. We'd like to help you out, take the next step?
No, I haven't. Not yet. Maybe soon. Maybe when I finish it and, you know, get it in the hands of the right people, then I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think that's almost hard to believe that nobody would, you know, help him out like that.
I mean, if everyone's like me, you probably don't even know he's doing it. Because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So it might be that people don't even know he's doing that. You know what I mean?
Now, how do you pronounce where you live? Vacaville?
Vacaville.
Vacaville, all right.
Yeah,
See, it looked cooler if it was pronounced Vacaville, because then you'd be on vacation all the time. You know?
Okay, Bill.
So Vacaville, California. Where's Vacaville, California?
It's about 35 miles northeast of San Francisco.
Okay. When you went to the University of California, did you cross paths with Aaron Rodgers for a year or so there?
No, I didn't. No. When I got there, he had already left, but his legend was strong.
Yeah.
In the whole school.
Why'd you go to California?
It was a combination of academic and athletics. I felt like it was unmatched. You know, around the country. I'm sure BJ would probably disagree.
You know, I have respect for Cal, but you know, I'll just leave what we talk about between us.
How about Charles Woodson yesterday with 2 more picks? He's got 5 on the year now.
I mean, he's just a phenomenal player. You know, one of the best all times. And as he was making those plays, all I could think in my head was, man, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Are you surprised that people even throw at him anymore?
I am. You know, particularly the young rookies like Cam Newton. If you want to throw at somebody on our defense, he's probably not the guy to throw at him.
Yeah.
A guy with, you know, over 50 interceptions in his career, that means he's a ball hawk. And anytime you're doing that and you're trying him, he's going to bite you eventually.
Nick Collins traveled with you guys yesterday. He was on the sidelines, had the neck brace on. He says that's supposed to come off this week sometime, and still don't know at this point in time whether he's going to be able to resume his career, but I guess he'll undergo several tests now from this point forward and kind of see how that thing goes. But, you know, I heard an interview with him yesterday, and he kind of sounds pretty at peace about the whole situation, that he'd love to come back. He's anxious, but if it doesn't work out, that, you know, he's won a Super Bowl, he's made a lot of money, he's wants to be a coach someday, and that he's pretty much reserved to doing whatever, you know, that there are other things in life for him.
Right. I think, you know, Nick's, just from my short time known, you know, 3 years, I think he's one of the more, you know, reserved players. You can tell, you know, he thinks things through, and he's just, like you said, he's at peace with himself, and he's just, you know, a humble guy. You know, he understands, you know, in my eyes, he's made his mark in the league. He's made his mark on his franchise. You know, he's been an elite player for some time now. Obviously, that was an unfortunate incident, but I'm sure he would tell you that he has no regrets. You know, it's one of those careers where, you know, he came, he saw, he conquered, you know, in a short period of time. Hopefully, obviously, we would love to have him back, but he would tell you if he can't play them, he left everything out on the field.
Sam Shields is expected. He was cleared now from his concussion, so he'll be able to rejoin the team for practice next week. But in his absence, Jordy Nelson took his spot on special teams, and he went down and made one heck of a tackle right off the bat yesterday.
Yeah, he did. You know, just next guy up kind of mentality, even on special teams. And, you know, for Jordy to get out there, you know, have to make a tackle. How many times do receivers really have to, you know, really make a tackle, and especially against a good runner in Percy Harvin. And he did a good job. You know, he got him down. I think that got him the Big Hit Award, too, and, you know, a team week reward. Yeah.
Did you hear what Jimmy Johnson, or did you hear about what Jimmy Johnson said on the Fox pregame show yesterday?
Nah.
He basically said that everyone's raving about Green Bay, but really they've been sloppy on special teams. Their defense has been giving up a lot of yards passing. They need to get sharper. If they, he said they will lose a couple of games here in the next coming several weeks. He did say that he still thinks you're the best team in football, but you're not going to go unbeaten according to Jimmy Johnson. So.
Well, you know, I respect Jimmy Johnson. I mean, obviously, he's won a few Super Bowls. He's just really giving his insight, his opinion. Not that it matters, but you know what I mean. He's paid to give an opinion, and he's giving his. His personality. He doesn't really care what anyone thinks. You know, I'm sure he's definitely dissected being a coach that knows a little bit about the game of football. I mean, he knows a lot about the game of football. So he knows we're a good team, but. He's right. I mean, we need to get better on defense. So he's not really saying anything we don't know. But there's nothing disrespectful. I just feel the losing part I disagree with. I don't think that, you know, we'll probably lose. But that's just my mentality. But I think that he was right in some of the things he said.
How about your boy Tim Tebow? You see what he did yesterday?
Okay. You again, man. You have like a Florida Gator jersey under your shirt, man.
No, I'm just, you know, you were. This is just a side joke, obviously, but you got to tell him about what happened with Tim Tebow.
You remember that one play he came in and tried to run that QB thing? I told Bill that when I tackled him, he was like at the bottom of the pile, like smiling at me. I thought that was kind of weird.
Wow, really?
That's weird, right? Is that not weird?
That's kind of weird.
Exactly.
Actually, a funny story. I seen the magazine today with Tebow, and I think it was the ESPN, some magazine. Wow. And it said, enter Tebow. I was like, what?
Enter what?
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, but that Tim Tebow's a Denver Bronco. I don't know why we're talking about him on the Green Bay Packers show, but I don't know why. I don't understand it.
Because I thought you and he had developed this special bond that I guess that's why I felt I had to bring it up.
Nope, there's no bond.
No bond there. All right.
I wish him well.
You will never hear me bring up Tim Tebow again.
Well, you know.
Unless you play him, of course, again.
Okay, not a problem.
That's fair game, right?
Not a problem.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we come back, we will continue. It'll be time for our Granite Peak Ski Area emails segment of the week. We'll check your emails, give you a chance to win a ski package for two to Granite Peak in Wausau. Back with more from Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we are back at Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Good to have you along with B.J. Raji and Desmond Bishop. I'd like to welcome Packer fans listening back in Adams Friendship on WDKM and Baraboo on WRPQ. In La Crosse on WFBZ, in Marshfield on WDLB, and in Tomahawk on WJJQ on the Woodward Radio Network. Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau is the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin with over 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. This year offers an expanded beginner area, a new fleet of rental equipment, and 10 new snow guns for the best snowmaking in the state. For more information and discounted season passes and lift tickets, go to skigranitepeak.com today. Let's head out to the audience for our email portion of the program. Justin Hull.
InTheHuddleShow.com. As always, that's the website. You can enter your questions each and every week. First question kind of goes back to what you guys were talking about with TJ Lang and his incident yesterday. This is from Tom and Madison. There's unwritten rules in baseball. Are there any unwritten rules on the football field?
Let you handle that one, Bish.
Unwritten rules? What are the unwritten rules in baseball?
You can't steal when you're up by like 8, or you can't throw at guys' heads.
Man, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, sometimes.
I mean, besides the obvious, like running up to score. Besides any of the obvious.
Obviously, the Saints broke that rule last night, right?
Hey, man, my philosophy is they can't score if you don't let them. You know what I mean? Everyone's talking about the Saints, and we'll get into that later. But
yeah, I think some people like it's an unwritten rule. Like you don't really want to cut people when they're not looking, and you know, because it's your livelihood, it's your career on the line, and it's kind of unwritten rule like. You know, don't cut a guy when he's not looking, but people still do it anyway, and that causes problems. But
or don't kick a guy in the groin when, you know, that kind of thing.
Does stuff like that happen all the time when you're in a pile for a fumble? I mean, is there just weird stuff going on? I know we've heard stories about that in the past.
I think the biggest thing is when you're pursuing to the ball and someone has like a weird angle on you, that you're kind of in your blind spot, you can't see them, and like Bish say, if they, I mean, traditionally a good clean hit is if they, knock you off your feet, pad to pad, shoulder pad to shoulder pad. I mean, you can live with that, but like when Bish said, they're going after your knees when you're not looking, and that's more of a personal, and that's more dirty.
But like you're going for a fumble, let's say, there's a scrum. It's like a rugby type pile up. Is there scratching, biting, clawing, anything to get that football?
I mean, you can't bite because you got your helmet.
I was going to say that, but I don't want to be that guy.
And you can't really scratch because you got on gloves. And
people are just going for the football.
Chester Markle could bite.
I don't know who that is. So.
He is a former Packer kicker that had a single bar.
Smart man.
All right,
we'll get to the next question. This one comes from Vicky in Appleton. What was your favorite Halloween costume you ever had dressed in as a child?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Be honest with you, I never really had a costume because my mom would always make my costume, but she'll buy me a mask. So I was always pretty mismatched on Halloween. That's just being honest. I wish I could lie and make up a story.
So you were a pumpkin with a Freddy Krueger mask? I mean, is that how it was?
Shoot. I'll let that one slide because we're on the air. I got heat for you too, though.
Des, how about you?
I think my family. I think my parents was just too cheap, and we just use We just whatever football team I played for, I just put on my uniform as a football player.
Wow.
They are here in attendance.
You know what though? I'm a parent, and I do that once in a while with my kid. And I don't think it's cheap. I think it's just lack of creativity, maybe a little laziness, that kind of thing.
Maybe that could be.
I mean, if you're happy running around, I mean, what's your ultimate goal? Looking good or getting candy?
Getting candy.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll go to the next question from Dennis in Appleton. This is for you, Desmond. What is it like having an old high school football rival in Jarrett Bush as a teammate right now?
Oh man, it's fun. We clown about it a lot. He claims their team beat us, which is not true. But I think over the break, I was at home and I had pulled up some old tape, and it was just funny just watching me and Jared, high school, 17-year-old out there, playing against each other. And it was funny, and I was showing Charlie Pepper the clips, and Jared Bush actually did pretty good against us. I didn't really realize until I watched, but our team slaughtered their team every year. They was the punching bag of our league.
All right, we do have time for another one here.
All right, we'll get to the next question from Jim and Kimberly. When you guys have a bye week and head home, do you get a lot of demands and requests to make appearances with old friends and that?
I mean, people want to see you, of course, but I think if you schedule your time wisely, you'll have time to do that and relax and see your family, I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay away from home for that reason. I just want to just straight relax. No.
You have one more?
We can get to one more here.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead.
This one's from Ryan in Kaukauna. As a defensive player, how do you guys adjust when an offense is in a no-huddle offense?
I don't know. Maybe next time BJ could fake an injury or something, get some rest. But we need him on the field every play, so that would be good.
It's more in preparation. We'll have certain one-word terms that we'll use when we want to do certain things. And I think that it's our job to study it and just be familiar with that stuff.
All right, thanks for all the questions. We'll come back, and when we do, we'll announce the winner of that ski package, a weekend ski package for two to Granite Peak. Back with more Tanners and Kimberly after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we are back here at Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Good to have you along here. In the Huddle continues on the Woodward Radio Network. And it's time now to announce our winner of the Granite Peak Ski Area email segments.
I like Vicky's question with.
Lenny can't even ski, can he? Come on, Lenny.
You got that hat on.
Justin Hull.
Yeah, let's go with Vicky's question about the Halloween costumes. It's kind of fun getting the mental image of B.J. Raji dressed up as a pumpkin, so we'll go with that question right there.
I guess, and thanks, Vicky, for the question. You're our winner tonight, and we'll do it again next week. How about your worst costume?
What?
Did you have a worst costume? Did you have one?
My worst costume was not having one. Just not having this. Having to go out there and just.
Because then they browbeat you.
Huh?
The people, they don't want to give you candy if you don't have a costume on, right?
Halloween, I don't know. I was more concerned with like the mischief part of it, like the night before, the mischief night, like throwing rolls of paper up in the tree and throwing eggs at people. But the actual day it was okay.
You see the commercial on TV, by the way, with the kid's decoration or the kid's costume, and she says, "What are you?" And he takes his hand and he drops it in the candy thing, and he brings it out, and he's got like, the whole bucket full of candy stuck to his hand. He says, "I'm a gecko." Gecko's got sticky fingers, so he basically little kid, little whippersnapper's got the whole bucket of candy.
I missed that one.
You didn't like that, huh?
I missed that one.
You wouldn't laugh at that?
I looked at YouTube.
That was good stuff. All right. Let's get back onto more serious thought. All right, so you're going into the bye week, and when you come back, you're back here on Sunday, back to work on Monday. What is the coaching staff established for you guys as a defense to say, this is what we need to work on and crack down on in the second half?
I'll just start by saying I think the biggest thing with us is like the type of defense that we play and the type of players we have. If we don't give up big plays, it's hard for teams to just march down the field on us like 12, 13 play drives if we don't give them big plays. And I forget the yardage, bitch. It was like, what was it? 3 plays yielded like 200, almost 50 yards. Yeah. Anytime you're doing that, you're not really giving yourselves a chance on defense. We obviously let the ball over our head, and we let a good back, but we still let them, gain a significant amount of yards on, sometimes a few carries at the time. And I just think that once we clean that up, I think we'll get back to playing the defense that led us to a Super Bowl.
I think Dom Capers said yesterday anyway, you were really good on first down, but third down was what, you had a hard time getting off the field on third down. They were making plays on you there. So I'm not sure if that's a pattern over the 7 games, but yesterday that was something that, and that goes without saying, that's important for any defense.
Oh, yeah. Third down, we call it the money down. It's very important, especially if it's a big correlation between winning and losing and your third down win percentage. So it's something we got to get corrected. I think we're going to come back and get a little bit more creative on third down and get us back to where we need to be. You
guys have a highlight for the first 7 weeks or so? Something to stick out for you?
I'll have to start with, because last season when we went on our run, we weren't able to share that with the fans, in our home field. We were obviously on the road, and obviously the Super Bowl was in Dallas. So I think that first game, the hype leading up to that first game, I think for Green Bay, it was 100,000 some odd people outside. So that was kind of like the city's Super Bowl where they had a nice concert outside with some big name stars performing. And I think, just getting football cranked back up after a long off season, seeing the excitement and us coming in our home stadium, winning against a good team. I think that was so far, it's probably the highlight of my first 7 games.
Des?
Man, I think I might have to piggyback off you. That first Saints game, that felt like Super Bowl B. It was exciting out there. The fans, they had the American flag thing. They had the stuff going. It was fun. It was night game. It was perfect.
You bring up a good point about the home field, and you didn't have it last year throughout the playoffs. And in this 7-0 start, there's still 9 games left in the regular season to play, so a lot of things can happen. But the way you guys are playing right now, and the start that you're off to, it's looking like home field is going to be a much more viable option for you this year, and something that you will be able to share with the Green Bay fans.
Right. I would love to have that. Just being able to secure that. Obviously, with winning, the more we win, the closer we'll get to that. But just having a chance to have some home playoff games and having teams having to go through what we had to go through last year. You're coming into a hostile environment, you know, a rowdy home crowd that's raring to go, and you know, kind of jump on the opposing team. It would be nice for our opponents to experience that.
Well, San Diego is up next, the trip out west.
Right.
Is that something you guys have covered at all?
You know, we haven't really started on San Diego. We made the corrections from this past game, and just, you know, coach just told us, you know, have a good break. When we come back, we'll obviously get started on those guys. That's another tough challenge, you know, especially with their ability to score and actually playing real good defense over that way too. So it'll be a tough challenge for us.
Yeah, by the way, Alex Green out for the season. We learned that today with a knee injury. He'll have to have surgery, so that's a tough loss for the Packers. Good news is Greg Jennings, who they thought there might have been a break, a bone break to the hand. That turns out to be just a bruise, and he's going to be back and ready to go right after the break. So that's good news. But anyway, guys, have a great week off, and we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks, BJ.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Des, thank you very much.
Yeah,
congratulations, and keep it going. All right. Desmond Bishop, BJ Raji. Thanks to our engineer, Mike Steele, our producer, Reggie Razoo, our video coordinator, Phil Rothman, and Justin Hull helping out here on hand, and Lenny and Sue from L&S Classic Limousine. We'll see you again next Monday night right here at Tanner's on Woodward Radio Network.